Hello everyone, hello football fans, and welcome to week 5 of the AAF. We are already halfway through the season. We're gonna do my picks this week and also give you some news on the AAF and how the Alliance is doing. Alright, let's start our first game of the day, the game of the week probably. A game that was moved from the Bleacher Report to TNT Network and flexed out. I would say good job by the AAF and good job by TNT to put this game on air. We have 4-0 Orlando taking on 3-1 Birmingham, the two best teams in the league record-wise. Teams are arguably the two best quarterbacks coming in. Orlando, Garrett Gilbert, definitely the best quarterback right now. Right now, looking definitely the halfway MVP right now of the league. And Birmingham's quarterback, Luis Perez, the league's most intriguing player, if you ask me. But as far as passing yards goes, he is number 2 in the league as far as passing yards, believe it or not, despite the fact he doesn't have a touchdown. Orlando's defense is gotten better and better by the week. Birmingham's has been the best in the league, so we have the league's best offense versus the league's best defense, and the two quarterbacks with the most yardage passing. Now, this game is going to be at the old Gray Lady in Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Hopefully, they will crack over 20,000 this week. Last week was 6,500, but they had those torrential downpours and tornadoes down in Alabama, where a lot of counties were declared a state of emergency. I think about 40 people died between there and some parts of Georgia. So hopefully we will draw over 20,000. It'll be Birmingham's biggest crowd of the year. But I see Orlando winning this game. Birmingham's going to have to have his best defensive effort in order to beat this team. And let's face it, look who they played. When they played a Memphis team without an offensive identity and without a quarterback, really. They've played Atlanta, who is pretty much putrid before they win last week. They did play San Antonio tough, and San Antonio's got a decent offense. I'll give them that. And who else have they played? Atlanta. Well, this is going to be by far their biggest test, and I think the Birmingham defense will give them fits, but this Orlando offense is that dynamic. Steve Spurrier is, at 73 years old, has not lost his touch whatsoever. Fun and Gun is back in Florida. Birmingham hasn't had to face an offense like this at all. And the other thing with Birmingham, they have no offensive identity whatsoever at this point in the season. Luis Perez is the second best quarterback in this league. And by the way he manages his offense, despite the fact he really has no receivers to throw to that are good. He really doesn't. And the running game is really inconsistent. They don't really have a tight end that can really, it's a real passing threat. I mean, this is a team that's been without an offensive identity the whole year. They managed to be 3-1 because of their defense. They've also lost 2 offensive linemen last week due to injury. They came back, but you could tell that offensive line was not the same against that San Antonio defense. And because if you're going to beat Orlando, you have to be able to score. I mean, we've seen what they've done to Atlanta. Who was it they played? Atlanta or San Antonio? San Antonio put some points on the board too. They did a good job. They were right there, but you know, Logan's Woodside's pick 6 was a difference in that game. And I ended up turning things around for Orlando. They beat Memphis. So you're going to have to score points against this Orlando team. And let's say Birmingham just does not score. They have no offensive identity. I see Orlando winning this game. I'm going to say 24-11. So I think Orlando's going to be 5-0 by the time this game is over with. Hopefully we'll see a good game, but the most anticipated game is this game is that game right there. And now the second game on hand, let's see, is going to be the primetime game on the NFL Network at Jack Murphy Stadium. San Diego Fleet 2-2 coming off their terrible loss against the Memphis Express. They're hosting Salt Lake, who are coming in at 1-3. I blame last week solely on Mike Martz. Mike Martz did a terrible job those last 7 minutes with his play calling, his decision making, absolutely terrible. Alex Ross will not start this week. Mike Bercovici gets the start, and for the injured Philip Nelson, who's going to be out, looks like 4 to 6 weeks. So we may not see Philip Nelson for the rest of the year. It's very possible. Hopefully we will, because he's done a good job with that San Diego offense. The greatest show on surf, Mike Martz has got to realize that he is not a passing team, he's a running team. But when they run the ball, they do a good job passing, and they're going to need to, because Bercovici has had problems holding onto the ball as he did that first game against San Antonio. I mean, he even come in last week when Nelson did. Alex Ross did. And I guess they saw enough of Alex Ross, but they figured they would give Bercovici another shot. On the other side, Salt Lake has got a good defense. Kevin Schultz is probably the leading tackle in the league right now. Probably one of the bigger defensive presence in the league. Josh Woodrum has been solid. He's a good game manager. They've had a good running game there with Joel Bongyon. Their receivers are really nothing to brag about, but when they can run the ball, that helps them out. But I see San Diego winning this game. I think someone's got to win this game. I think that San Diego running game will do enough to take the pressure off Michael Bercovici. I see them win this game 18-15. Now, on Sunday, the afternoon game on the CBS Sports Network, we have 1-3 Memphis against 1-3 Atlanta at Georgia State Stadium. Both teams coming off their first wins of the year. Memphis beating San Diego and Atlanta, the big upset over Atlanta in Tempe, Arizona. This is going to be an interesting game because we have Zach Mettenberger taking on Aaron Murray. To the delight of the Atlanta Legends fans, Aaron Murray will be starting. I don't think Phil Simms would have been healthy enough to start anyway, but the way Aaron Murray helped that offense last week, why wouldn't you start him? I mean, Phil Simms threw for over 300 yards the week before, but because of Atlanta's lack of running game, you probably want someone more mobile in there. And Aaron Murray was the leading rusher last week, on top of throwing for 254 yards passing. He was good. He was excited. It looked like him and that old Georgia Bulldog offense. So the local boy comes home to get the start in Atlanta. The only thing is, though, you cannot have your leading rusher be your quarterback either. Aaron Murray did enough to open up the ground game and the passing game, but this Memphis defense is pretty good. The problem with the Memphis defense is they were out on the field too long the first 2 weeks of the season because their offense was garbage. Zach Mettenberg has made a big difference coming in for the beleaguered Christian Hackenberg. Like I said, if Singletary had pulled Borderman 1 quarter early, they might have been able to pull the ups against Orlando. And last week, Mettenberger looked awesome against San Diego. He looked like in fact, both these quarterbacks, Murray and Mettenberger, looked poised. They looked confident. They looked in control. The only difference is that Mettenberger's had a full game and a half to work with now. We've only seen Aaron Murray for a half. We'll see how he does for the full game. But because Memphis can also run the ball with Zach Stacy, and I think their defense is better, I'm going to give this game to Memphis. I like this game to be like a 2018 game. I mean, Atlanta could win it, but they're searching for an identity on offense still. We'll see how Aaron Murray does in a full game, and I just think the Memphis defense is just better. And finally, the last game of the weekend in Tempe, Arizona, the 2-2 Arizona Hotshots hosts San Antonio. The Commanders coming off a much-needed win against a brutal Birmingham defense. They're both 2-2. They're tied with San Diego for first place. We have a three-way tie. This is what you want in a league like this. You want competition. Like I said, the ideal thing is to have this league go into week 10 with all teams having a mathematical possibility of a playoff. And it's certainly going to look like that in the West right now. Arizona is getting worse by the week since opening week. You should see improvement at this point. We're not. We're seeing the opposite. San Antonio may have the most balanced team. They do a lot of different things on offense. They're not great at one thing, although they have a great set of receivers. And they got Kenny Fowler, who runs the ball pretty good. And you could arguably say they have the best pass rush in the league right now. I do not like the way Arizona's playing. Wolford, he's done good despite the rest of the offense. I mean, Arizona moved the ball up and down that field last week, but they just couldn't score. Mistakes after mistakes cost them. The biggest one was Rashid Ross taking a screen pass, running backwards, and costing this team 2 points. Donnie Hageman, the field goal kicker for Arizona, missed a field goal, and that turned out to be, that's 5 points gone right there. Arizona should have won that game. But that's the difference between San Antonio and Arizona right now. I think San Antonio's a good team. I think they're a better team than their 2-2 record. They could have easily won those two other games. But I'm going San Antonio in this game. I like them to win. I'm not impressed with the Arizona defense at all. The Arizona defense is not that good. And as far as I'm concerned, you can make an argument saying that they're the weakest defense in the league right now. I am not impressed with them at all. So I'm going to go with San Antonio win this one. I'm going to say 30-18. So those are the picks for the week. I'm taking Orlando over Birmingham, San Diego over Salt Lake, Memphis over Atlanta, and San Antonio over Arizona. So I think the road teams will go. I got Orlando, Memphis. They'll go 3-1 this week. So we'll see what happens. Now, other news in the AAF talks about Johnny Manziel coming into the league. I haven't heard nothing about that yet. Wait and see that. Then there's another article that said the NFL is going to start loaning players to the AAF to develop, which I think is a good idea for both these leagues. Right now, the NFL quarterback play is at its all-time worst. It is pathetic. I mean, you do have your top echelon quarterbacks, you know, your Tom Brady, your Andrew Luck, your Aaron Rodgers, Ben Roethlisberger. But there's a big drop-off after the 10th team, if you ask me, and the quarterback play is terrible in the NFL right now. It would behoove them to develop quarterback play elsewhere, give guys more reps, and I think this would be good also for the AAF. The one thing I was worried about when this league started, and as I do with most spring football leagues, is the quarterback play. If you don't have good quarterback play, people get turned off right away. The play, it looks pretty bad, but the AAF has done a good job this year. We've seen 2 NFL quarterbacks excel so far. Garrett Gilbert of Orlando has been awesome, and Zach Mettenberger, since he's replaced Christian Hackenberg, it's been great to see. Wolford of Arizona has had a good year. We've seen Phil Nelson develop to before he got hurt. And now hopefully we'll see Aaron Murray. So we have a chance to help each other out here. And hopefully this loan deal goes through. Now, the other interesting about this is, what does this do to the XFL next year? You know, Vince McMahon has expressed his displeasure with the NFL. I'm sure the NFL would love it to stick it to McMahon and the XFL. This puts the XFL in a tough spot. They're 1 year behind the AAF, and now they're partnering with the NFL. So McMahon has given himself 2 years to get this league ready, but I think he might have been 2 years too late starting it. The way AAF is looking right now, Vince McMahon's got his hands full next year. And speaking of, despite the pathetic attendance last week because of the weather and the week before, I guess the TV ratings have been pretty good, because not only has TNT picked up this game this week, but they're going to broadcast the Saturday afternoon game, Orlando at Atlanta. It's not going to be in the Bleacher Live Report network. It's going to be in TNT. So things are looking up on the TV ratings. I guess they were ranked 50th most watched cable program last week on the NFL network last week. Both games. So the ratings are solid on TV wise, which is good because the attendance has not been that good, but we have good weather coming this week. It's going to be 70 degrees and cloudy in Birmingham. It's going to be 60 and sunny in Atlanta, 60 and sunny in San Diego, and Arizona's going to be 74 and beautiful again. So that's it for the AAF, my picks and some news. Tell me what you think. Hope you enjoy the games. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying this league. And we'll talk to you during the weekend with some highlights and some reactions. Take care. Good night, everyone.